Now we're unmuted. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oops, let's turn off the music. I was so excited that we got this working. I forgot to turn off the music. Okay, music's off. So good morning, everybody.
So with the music off, we can start.
That's right. So welcome to
Cut Up and Sew What's Up.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Joanne.
This is what we do every Monday at 9. I'm normally behind the scenes. Josh is normally standing here. But he's on his way back from North Carolina. He did a trip this weekend to see family, so he's coming back today. And so here we are.
Yep, just the two of us.
Just the two of us. So it'll either be really short or we can drag this out.
Mm-hmm.
So be prepared. Fill up that coffee cup.
That's right. Anything could happen. It's always a surprise.
Surprise! I did write some notes down. Not a lot, but I have some notes. And we have some cool fabric to show. Yeah.
The interesting thing is Tony always makes up a list, a nice, or has been recently anyway, a nice typed out list for Josh so he knows what to say and everything. Oh, and everything for her today is in a book, handwritten.
Last minute. What am I supposed to talk about? So that's all right. Well, we're going to make it work. We're going to do it and have fun with it. So good morning, everybody. I see all our normal people on. Mm-hmm. Linda, Barbara, Denise, Christy, Diane. Diane, I'm glad to see that you are doing well. Keep resting. We would love to see you soon, but you need to rest yourself and heal quickly, please.
Yeah.
So, it is like the second day of June. Ta-da!
It's officially hurricane season. I hope you're all ready.
No stress. Isn't it tax-free weekend, or was that last week?
I think it's. I thought I heard it was the month of June, but I could be wrong about that. But it's a little bit longer than I expect than it's been in the past.
Cool. Because what that means here in Florida, if you're in Florida, you get tax-free on like batteries, lights, things that are hurricane preparation tools and things.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. Last year with the hurricane that we had here in Palm Coast, which was, it wasn't as bad as it could be. Mm-hmm. I decided it was a lot like camping. So, and we used to camp a lot when I was a kid. No, when we were first married with our kids and everything. And so I thought, okay, I know how to do this. So now I have my lights that are rechargeable, so that I can read or whatever. And I have my tap lights all over the house to keep my house lit up.
It's pretty smart.
And I have a French press to make coffee with.
That's very smart. I don't have a French press yet.
It works.
We have a little percolator cup from camping, so that's what we use. Yeah. We've used that in a pinch. So that's very smart. Very smart. So if you are in Florida, be prepared. Hurricane season's here.
That's right.
My husband said last night, he goes, we need to go make sure we have water and canned food that we can just eat out of the can. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. He means like ravioli, SpaghettiOs, beef, denti more, that kind of stuff. I know.
Well,
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches work great for me.
Me too. And the other thing I haven't gotten it yet. It's one of those coolers that keeps things cold for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured if a hurricane is coming, I can make some things, stick them in there. And
freeze your bottled waters.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm ready.
See, we have plenty to talk about today. We just started.
We haven't even gotten to the quilting part.
That's right. I wasn't going with June 1st being hurricane season. I was going with June 1st being Spooktacular Jamboree.
Sorry.
Yeah, hello. That's okay. Hence the Halloween decor going on. It's a month that we celebrate Halloween here in Cut Up and Sew. We have a lot. Josh wants to say we have the best selection in Florida of Halloween fabric between the two stores. Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you how many bolts. We have a lot of Halloween fabric. The man loves his Halloween.
Yes, he does.
And we enjoy celebrating because it's always fun. So we got lots of things going on this month. I don't have all the details, but Joshua, when he comes back and what specials and promotions, I'll talk about a couple things that I do know that's going on. But I forgot about the code word. Don't forget about the code word.
Okay.
I'll write that down.
Write it down. because I'll forget.
So just know we are celebrating Halloween all month long. We have a hat class. Everybody needs their own witchy or wizard hat. I think it's too hot for me to put one on right now to show it out, but everybody, that's June 21st, so you can sign up for that. Oh, we got lots of people popping in. Good morning, everybody. We got people on YouTube, and who is this? Denise says we are waiting on the governor to finish passing the budget so they give us tax-free, period. Oh, it's not available yet. I did not realize that. Thanks, Denise, for letting us know that. Doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Go out and get your stuff. You need your water. You need your batteries. You need your lights. So, and Leah's in Dallas today. She was in Nashville last week. Good morning,
she's
Maria.
Moving around, isn't she?
Yeah, she gets around. It's her business. And then Maria's up and around, sort of. She's still doing PT, and hope she's doing better. Hope you're doing well, Maria. So, June Spooktacular Jamboree. What else we got going on? So we have lots of kids classes. I want to talk into the kids classes. We have 15 coming up over the next month and into July. And we really have the perfect starter machines for kids. So that's not going to be our focus this month, is we're going to talk about all these entry-level starter machines for kids or for a beginner sewer. Don't forget, we also have Sewing 101 on the first Tuesday of the month with Karen. She teaches that to anybody who has a sewing machine. Or if you don't, we actually offer you to try it out on our sewing machines and then decide if you want to buy one. So I love this Janome, these little red Janome ones, because they're perfect for travel. I actually like the next one up, this blue. It's the TM Travel Mate 50. I sold the last one on Saturday, but we'll order more, because that one comes with an extension table, a walking foot, a 1/4-inch foot. So it's a perfect quilter's travel machine.
So if you're taking it to class and stuff like that.
Or even retreats, or if you want to go sit outside on your porch and sew and don't want to bring out the big heavy machine. Hey, some people have really nice porches. They can sew on them.
I could do that.
I could too, but I don't want to, because it's too hot. But anyway, we're going to be focusing on these little machines, perfect for kids. Our whole goal is to get kids into sewing. So we are creating that next generation. And it's funny, it's a lot of kids will come and learn to sew, and their parents have no desire to learn. So that's kind of cool that maybe they will grow and teach maybe mom later on when she doesn't have to worry about kids. You might enjoy it
when she has some time.
Yeah. And I've met lots of ladies in the retirement age where, like, I've never learned, but my kid learned, so I'm doing it because of her, which I think is really kind of cool.
That's neat.
So we're always thinking forward, creating that next generation of sewers. Oh, yeah, that's right. Thanks, Louise, for putting that. We also have Sewing 101 the second Thursday in St. Augustine. So we have it in both locations. So you don't have to drive down Palm Coast if you're in St. Augustine or St. Johns County. You can go up there. Good morning, Tatiana. So that's one of the things I know Josh is going to talk more into that over the next weeks. Let's talk about Bernina's. Let's talk about staff pick and Bernina's accessory of the month, because that's where we're going to do promotions. So just so you know, our $5 a yard fabric has stopped. Our Fat Quarter Fridays, we're not sure yet. We might continue them on this month. Again, I'm not sure. Josh is going to have to talk into that. But that was fun. Last month we had Fat Quarter Fridays where it was $3 a fat quarter. So Bernina has a monthly accessory of the month. And this month it's 25% off. Wow. And it's the BSR foot, which stands for, you don't know what it stands for? BSR foot? Bernina Stitch Regulator. I just love the stare. She's staring at me.
Thank you. I could have come up with that like in another hour or so.
She's
of intense thinking.
You were intensely thinking. I love putting them on the spot because, you got to keep up with me. So the Bernina BSR foot, which is the Bernina Stitch Regulator foot, is on sale during the month of June. I'll be honest, I don't know what machines come with it and what machines don't come with it. So it's best to go into St. Augustine and talk to Melanie or Farron, because they are the be-all, know-it-all of Bernina. But so the downside with that foot is it doesn't really apply to the other brands. But that's okay, because we have our staff pick of the week, and we're going to be focusing every week on a specific foot that you can purchase for any of the brands that we can order or we might have in stock already. And this week's pick is from Melanie, and she picked the D foot, D, C, and D. Oh, no, excuse me, 10D and 10C foot for the Bernina, which is the edge stitch foot. And all brands have the edge stitch foot. And You like the edge stitch foot.
It is my favorite foot, and I use it a lot. I don't use it in place of a 1/4 inch foot, but I use it on all my bindings and a variety of other places. And if I had 2 of them, I'd be even happier than I am now.
One for each machine.
That's right.
I know a lot of people that'll also use it as a makeshift stitch in the ditch foot.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I don't have one here handy, but it's a foot and it's got a guide in the middle of it. It's meant for overcast stitches on your machine. And it's not a blind hem foot, but I wouldn't use it as blind foot. I would totally use it for a stitch in the ditch foot, an edge foot, like you use it for binding, or if you are doing an overcast stitch with your sewing machine. Yes, you can do an overcast stitch on your sewing machine. Most people don't realize that.
Yeah. The using it as a stitch in the ditch foot is a really good idea. If that's the kind of quilting you like to do, it just keeps your, you just run that little ledge that goes down the center of the foot. You run it right on the seam, and your stitching stays right there with it, so that you don't have you're not constantly trying to keep it straight and it's going everywhere, and it just stays nice and straight. It's a great foot.
Everyone should have one. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Exactly.
So this week they're 20% off. You can go and St. Augustine location or Palm Coast. And if we don't have them in stock, just let us know. We will order them for you with the sale pricing. So that's good to know too. Our 25-day of sewing Advent box. 4 left. Only 4. Joanne snuck in. She buckled this weekend.
I couldn't stand it. It wasn't the box so much as the party in January. I just couldn't stand the thought of that happening without me.
Well, you have a very good friend who got one as well. So,
she got it because
you sold it to her.
Yes.
Nice. So if you want to be one of Joanne's friends and hang out with her, and you don't have to, but we only have 4 of these boxes left. And if you don't know what that is, it's an Advent box. So in there will be 25 little presents wrapped up, labeled day 1, 2, 3, etc. And then you open them on the day you want to open them. You don't blow them all at once, or you can wait till Christmas. So, and there's going to be projects. There's going to be skis. I love that word. With branding that nowhere else will be available. So there's actually where they're planning some specialty things in there that you can't get anywhere else.
And they're also doing some tutorials on them.
Correct.
As well.
Correct.
It sounds pretty well done. I decided to take a risk.
So if you're interested, I don't know if you can see the barcode. You can scan the barcode, or you can go to cutupandsew.com, and in the search bar, type in 25 days and it comes up. So
yeah, make sure you type in the 25 days or you'll never find it.
I'm trying to make it easy. Apparently I didn't make it easy enough. That's all right. If you have any questions, you always call the shop. We'll totally get you to get that. And you can make deposits on it, or payments on it, I should say, but it just has to be paid full January 31st. And if you're going to do that, you have to call the shop. You can't buy that online. So cool. So keeping in the Halloween theme, we have gotten lots of Halloween new fabric this year. So I think every week we're going to showcase some new Halloween fabric. This one.
Are you ready to show it?
Yeah, let's show it.
Okay. Has everybody seen this?
You've seen all the hat, right? Remember, this is June 21st for adults, and then for kids, it's June 13th, which happens to be a Friday.
Is this by any chance glow in the dark?
No, it's not. It's a Moda, and it's called Home Sweet Haunt. Is
this a good place?
That's a great place.
Okay.
You can see the little dancing skeletons. They're kind of cute.
So cute.
The heads on the skeleton. That's kind of fun.
They're really funny. Okay.
I like that. So what I did is I pulled out one of each of the designs. There's 3 or 4 colorways. So most of these come in 2 other colors. I like this one. I love typography type fabrics. And this one's kind of fun. I haven't read it though. You're making faces, so I'm a little concerned to read it now.
Well, this one says rest in peace at the comfy coffin. Turn down service, blood tasting, and live howling.
Sounds like a party.
We'll move on.
Okay.
Oh, I like this one.
Yes, the scenic one. That one's really cool. So it
Yeah.
has a very vintage feel to it.
It really does. I think it's the coloring that makes it that way. But I love these little houses with the pumpkins outside and the trees with no leaves on them. It's just a nice homey feel.
Well, it's Home Sweet Haunt.
Home sweet haunt.
It's-
Yes.
It says
Perfect.
Home Sweet Home, Home Sweet Haunt. I love the ghosties.
Mm-hmm.
Again, vintage. The line drawing of it's all vintage feeling,
Yeah.
retro feeling.
And this one has the ghosts, and then there's suns and stars. I mean, moons and stars and everything in the background. Kind of a neat little fabric. Who designed this?
Read the end. I have no idea. Stacy
Stacy Shoe.
Issue. Yeah.
Okay, I like this one too.
Yeah, it's got the flowers. Like I guess they're carnations, peonies, something.
Whatever. But it also has bugs. So if you don't like bugs,
Those aren't bugs. Those are spiders. So if you don't like spiders,
I don't know what about a spider is not a bug, but whatever you say. Some cool pumpkins. I always like pumpkins, I guess. Here's the pumpkins.
and I like the colorway. So we have the cream, the orange, the green, and the black. It's just a really neat palette to play with.
It is.
And you gotta have the scary cats.
Side up.
That's important.
Yes, there you go. They're scary.
They are very scary.
So the cats.
They're fun.
There you go.
So that is. Oh, and the other thing I didn't show you, put it was these little stuffies are part of this line as well. And Nancy's not here, but she made these up, and they are stinking adorable. When we saw them on the panel, we're like, that's kind of creepy. But then she puts them together and makes a whole big difference. So the boy and the girl come in one panel, and the witch comes all by herself as well because she's got extra accessories. She's got a little trick-or-treat bag. She's got a little hat. She's got a little cat. I want to show you how stinking cute these are.
They're really darling.
And then we've got a little kitty cat. Here, I'll pull them off.
There he is, a little cat. That's cute. Fits right. She has an apron on with a pocket.
Let's show them the back of her head. She's got spiders in her head too.
Oh, it's
It's Halloween. It's supposed to be.
the little boy with his little overalls. He's so cute in a bow tie. It's darling. Is this the witch?
That's the witch. Oh,
Okay.
Did I drop her hat? I dropped her hat. Oh, it's so cute. Oop.
Now, do we have anyone teaching this or doing it in a class type thing, or
No.
just come and make it or take it home?
What's really cool about panels like this is there's directions on the bottom of the panel. It tells you
that's
step 1, trim, step 2, cut and stuff. So that's that's the way you're going to learn. Unless you really want to, Nancy would probably gladly show you how to put them together.
Yeah, they're really cute though. And I think the only thing that was scary to me was stuffing these legs, but Nancy knows how to do that. And if you decide you want to buy it and you're a little intimidated by these legs and the skinny arms and everything, she'll help you through that.
Nancy's amazing, so. But they're just cute. They're so cute.
Okay, there we go. We're all back.
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble for messing up the display. And stab them in the arms. Yeah, she goes up here.
All right. We got all our buddies back where they belong.
Okay.
Very cute.
And those are all that's on our website too. If you search Home Sweet Haunt, you can find all that fabric and the panels up there too. So I think I have gone through all my stuff. I know we do the code word last.
Okay.
So you ready?
All right. So I have a couple things. One, I wanted to talk, if you don't mind, I want to talk about the class I have coming up on Friday. This class sort of evolved. It started out being a class on Judy Niemeyer and learning how to do a Judy Niemeyer paper piece thing. And I wanted to find something that was fairly simple. If you go to any of the shows or you've seen some of her work, a lot of what you see are these extremely complex paper pieced quilts, and they're pretty amazing. But I thought it would be nice to start someplace simple. So I started with this. And the instructions were a little frustrating. So I decided I was going to do it just because I can paper piece. And I thought I'll just make it on my own. But then when I went to put it together, it didn't come together. So I had to take it all apart and figure out how to do it her way. And when I did that,
we don't want to say it's the right way, but we do it her way.
Her way. That's right. But when I did that, it comes together perfectly. And for any of you who've made something that works in a circle like this, and you've got it all put together and then it ripples, or it's too tight, or it's too loose, or it does weird things, this comes together just perfectly. And it's really nice. Now I'll tell you, the pattern for the class has 3 of these. I was going to do 1 because my original thought was I was going to do this as a center of a medallion quilt and do different things around the outside. And I may still do that with this. But the pattern comes with pattern pieces for 3 of these, and you can make a table runner with it. Now, the other thing that you can do is if you you have to buy extra papers for it. But if you end up liking doing it, because once all the fabric is prepared in advance, once you've got that, it's very easy to put it together. And if you put a whole bunch of them together, it just makes the most beautiful quilt. I was absolutely amazed when I saw it. So that was where the class started, and that's what it was supposed to be. And then I had somebody come to me and say, I really want to take your class. I'm only here for this month. But the quilt I want to do a different quilt. So, and that's this quilt. And
is that the right side way?
Here, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. So this is the quilt she wanted to do. So I thought, okay, that's fine. It's not a hard quilt to do, really. It's just there's just a lot of it. And it's a Bonnie Hunter pattern, and which is downloadable. And it's just a great quilt. And it's one of those quilts that takes a little bit of time to do. Or if you follow her instructions, you could have it done in a month. That's all you do.
If you're focused.
But anyway, so that was the second quilt. And I thought, okay, I can do that. And then I decided I was going to invite, I had 2 women who were doing a beginner's class up in St. Augustine. And I thought, oh, it would be nice to give them some place to come afterwards. So I invited them to join the Friday class, which is when all this takes place. And I was going to have them do that quilt I just showed you. And then I thought, they're really very brave quilters, especially for as young as they are in quilting. But that might be a little intimidating. So I thought maybe this one would be better for them. And that's this quilt. So essentially what we have is 3 quilts going on for the Friday class. And this is it incorporates some of the same techniques that the other quilt has, but it's a lot simpler. And it's basically an Irish chain with a star in the blank squares.
Did you whip this out this weekend?
Yeah.
She quilted a quilt and whipped out another quilt top this weekend.
And put binding on.
And had lunch with her husband. It was amazing.
It was a productive weekend.
It was.
So anyway, if you're interested in any of those, we'd love to have you join the class. It should be fun, kind of inspiring, because there's so many options. This I'm going to need again.
Oh, okay.
So many options of what you can do. You can kind of be your own person and do what you want and make a kind of a neat quilt all on your own. So anyway, and that's for the Friday class starting this week.
And it's 4 Fridays. On the 3rd Friday, we'll be in next St. Augustine.
That's right. So and gives you an opportunity to go up there if you haven't been there for a while and really appreciate the people who are up there and just the whole different feel that it has there from this store here. So anyway, for today, the quilt tutorial for today is on borders. And one of the things that just makes me that I think is so important about quilting is putting on the border. And I think a lot of people have a tendency to say, I finished the important part of the quilt. I'm just going to throw that border on and it'll be done. And that brings about several problems. And one of the things that you have to think about is, what is a border for? And a border serves several purposes. One, it frames the quilt and gives you kind of an outside, just a nice frame around the outside. Two, it protects, if you have any half square triangles or flying geese or anything that with points that come out to the edge, it helps to protect those points from your binding going, blunting them when you turn the binding over onto the front, and there's not quite enough room, so the binding covers up those points. So it protects those points. But the most important thing that it does is it squares up your quilt. So a quilt typically comes together with the top and the bottom tend to be wide, and the middle is a little narrow. And so they're different. They're different sizes from top to bottom. And what you want is as much as possible to get that all together and get it straight, going up and down and across the top. And so a border will do that if you do it right. Now, if you just decide, well, I'm going to put a 4.5-inch border on my quilt, and you just place it on the top of your quilt here and you sew it down, if you have any waviness at all in your quilt, that's going to get even worse. And you'll end up with a very wavy border that makes it difficult to quilt. A lot of times, if either you or whoever quilts your quilts have to take little tucks in there, or there'll be some little gathering marks because it's too big. So the way you avoid that is, do you think we can pin this up?
Oh, sure. Well, maybe.
We can try. So the way you do that is, first of all, you take 2 strips of fabric.
Let's do the smaller edge.
They're both the same.
Oh, okay.
Is
this too tall?
All the way over to the edge. So you're going to take 2 strips of fabric and sew them together, and so that you have a nice long piece of fabric for your border. So I have 2 strips of fabric here, 2 with the fabric strips that I've sewn together, and I've pressed them. Now, a lot of people like that angled seam, that mitered seam here, when you put those together. I never do that. There's a couple of reasons of doing that. I don't know them all. I know that one of them is to blend the color of the 2 strips so that you don't see where it's joined together. But I'll tell you, I see that seam every time, and that really bothers me. So I always, and it also takes up a lot of fabric. And the most important thing, that the wider your border, the more risk you have of, when you join those 2 together at an angle, that it doesn't come together straight, that you have kind of a little wave in there, which is something you want. So anyway, I have 2 of these strips like this, and they're all sewn together and ready to put on my quilt. The first thing I do is I measure my quilt at the top, in the middle, and the bottom. And as long as they're somewhat similar, that's all I do. I don't worry about it if it's if one side is longer than another, or if the sides, the measurements don't match. It's not a problem. That's what we're here to take care of. So then I put my fabric, I put these 2 strips together so that the ends come together. And I make sure that the strips and the fabric and the quilt are flat. So I'm putting it on a surface that will be flat. Putting it on a bed is a little shaky. You've got a dining room. Well, all you need is to have the middle portion available. You don't have to have the whole quilt available, just the middle portion. Then you're going to take this. Can you hold this over there? And you're going to stretch it across the middle of your quilt. Remember, you've got both strips of fabric, and you're going to stretch it all the way across to the other side. And there we go. And once it gets to the other side, then you can cut it You can either even, I have found that I cut it about a 1/4 of an inch past the edge of the quilt. It just seems to work for me. And if it's 1/4 of an inch long, I say, yay me, and I cut it off.
Yay me.
So you stretch it across there, you cut it, and then now you have the same size border going at opposite ends of your quilt. So once you've done that, you're going to pin your border in place, and you pin it. You find the center of your border strip after it's been cut, and the center of your quilt, and you pin the center first, then you pin the outsides, and then you ease anything in that needs to be eased in. And just and it's the one time when I use a fair amount of pins, just getting everything eased in and everything even across the quilt. And you do that at both sides. Then you sew it on with the regular 1/4 inch seam, and press it. I always press towards the border, because I try to always press in the direction of least resistance. So the resistance is caused by seams. So the more seams there are, I press away from those seams. So I've pressed it. Then I do the very same thing on the remaining 2 sides. Typically, I start on the long sides and do the long sides first, and then do the top and the bottom. And that's a good way of getting your border nice and straight and taking away any risk of having wavy borders. What do you have to add?
That's what I teach. Another tip would be, if you have the fabric, you can do the length instead of the width of fabric for your borders, because there's no stretch in it too.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people recommend, but that takes a lot more extra fabric, like
It
easily
takes more,
1.5 years.
Yeah, it takes more extra fabric. And, if you have a quilt that it's going to hang somewhere, that's one of the things that you should do, because there's no stretch in it.
Right.
And as it hangs, if you use the width of fabric, as it hangs, it may stretch some, and it won't do that if you cut the length of fabric.
Right.
But it, like Tony says, it does take more fabric.
It takes quite a bit more. So, and then you did everything right. The only thing, make sure when you do your next set, your second set of borders, press the top ones first, then measure, because people always say, do I need to press that out?
Absolutely.
Yes.
If you ever have a question about pressing, should I press? The answer is always yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Always.
Always. You should never sew over an unpressed seam, because it won't, you take the risk of it folding back on itself and not being straight and things like that.
Yep, I agree. Wow, that's awesome. Do you typically do 1 or 2 borders?
It depends, because it depends upon the quilt. Like this one will actually end up with a small border, like a little skinny border, probably the blue, but maybe the green.
Like an accent.
And to kind of separate the two, because I love this fabric. This was my favorite fabric in the quilt. And when I put it right up against this, it's
too busy.
Yeah, you'll lose a little bit of it. And if you put a little bit of a separator there, you'll see the fabric. When you're choosing a size for your border, the place I start is I look at the size of my block. So this block is 9 inches. So I chose a 4, and then you just divide that in half, and that's a good place to start for your border. So, this I'm putting on a 4.5 inch border, and that usually works. Sometimes that's not what you want. It's just a starting place, and it gives you some place to start, and then you can say, well, I don't really want it that wide, or I'd really like it wider. Depending upon whether you're just trying to make your quilt bigger or accent some fabric or whatever.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. I love that information. That borders of people long armors know when somebody slaps a border on and when they cut them, because it creates that trapezoid, and then when they go to quilt it, they normally have to send it back to the quilter and say, hey, you need to rip this out and do it properly. Yeah. So
it's a mess. Yep. It's really an annoyance. Sometimes you don't find that out till you've got the back on the machine and everything's ready to go,
or you're halfway down the quilt.
And
it's not good.
So take care of your borders.
Yeah. And it's a nicer finish. You want to finish nicely. You don't want to just slap it on and be done with it. So just things to think about. I love it. That's exactly how I teach it. I know. I also teach with using a metal tape measure to
Exactly.
instead of. I like your idea of laying it flat. But if you don't have that flat surface, you can measure it with the like on a dining room table. That's what I'm trying to think of. So.
Yeah, and that and the metal tape measure. I think that I never use the little whatever they're called, the plastic ones,
the flimsy.
The flimsy ones, because you never know. They're popping up and unfolding and doing all kinds of weird things. Whereas the metal one's a nice measuring tape, metal measuring tape. It stays nice and straight.
And they tend to be a little more accurate, those little flimsy ones, because even if they laid flat, they still don't have the right measurements. So anyway, that was awesome. Thanks. You got a lot. See, we're still doing okay with time. You had a lot of stuff so sign up for Joanne's class this Friday. It is on the website. So if you want to do one of those other quilts that she was talking about, still sign up under the advanced paper piecing. You don't have to do that one, but you can do one of the other two choices as well.
Exactly.
And to be honest, if you sign up, Joanne will work with you. Say you've got a project you need help with, and you know it's going to take you a couple of weeks. Come on in, Joanne. Still sign up for the classes. She'll still come in and talk you through it.
Yeah,
she loves talking to people.
I do, and it's a nice group of women. Definitely inspiring and fun, and all those things.
And there's always food. If we can get you in bribery, food, we'll do it. We have always food. There's always somebody bringing food to share with everybody. So, well, awesome. Okay. This will be short because I don't have anything else to say except, the cash pig. I'm going to talk about the cash pig. So we obviously don't have the drawing because Josh isn't here. We need to get the tickets from St. Augustine. So that'll be next Monday. We'll have the drawing for the cash pig and the cash cow. But we need the code word. And Nancy showed up, but we're already done. Do you want to talk?
I wanted one quick second.
Okay, come on in. Okay, Nancy's coming in. She's pretty pink.
Oh my God.
Oh, look at him.
No, I just wanted to say,
look there
might have been some reluctance about the, sorry.
Don't look at the screen.
There might have been some reluctance about why you would do these things because they're outside of a quilter's realm for the most part. But I brought in something that I did. It was a panel. I think it was 35 years ago, and it's still in perfect shape. So when you do these little things, you do them for your grandkids, you do them for your kids. And yes, it's not quilting, but it does have some purpose. It brings, like, if I wouldn't put this out, my kids, my grandkids, my husband even would be like, well, where's the Santa? So these are silly.
Becomes a tradition.
Yes, they're kind of, again, outside the quilter's realm, but I think they're.
So you need a pumpkin or something to stick them in. I love this little sleigh thing.
Yes, now I just added that. But this was a panel. And same thing, you cut it out, you sew it, put it together. So that's it. That's all I had to say.
She did whip them up pretty quickly. Thank you.
That's all I wanted to say, and I won't keep.
No, you're
That's
fine.
Such a great idea because I have a little box that I put squares. If I have a small square left over from something, I make a little pillow thing out of it and put it in this little box and have these little squares in it. But this would be so cute in that little box.
Yeah, look how it sits. It would sit perfectly.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
it would.
Very cute. Yes, Tammy, that is Fancy Nancy. That was Fancy Nancy. Denise loves the Santa. You better hide it because they'll take it when they come visit today.
For sure.
So a cash cow and pig drawing will be next Monday, but we need the code word for this week. What do you think the code word should be? Okay, I did it again. She has not had enough coffee today.
I don't think well on my feet like that. I need like advanced warning.
Okay, I should start doing that.
Joanne, I'm going to ask you off the cuff.
Okay, mental note.
Think about it.
I'll start doing that. So how about Halloween?
Oh, wow. That's perfect.
That makes
Why
sense.
didn't I think of that?
It's all right because it was off the cuff and you weren't ready. So this week's code word is Halloween. You can use it in the store at both locations. Anytime you pay with cash, you get a little ticket and you put your name and phone number on it. And we put it in for a $25 gift certificate that we normally do the drawing on the first available Monday of the month. But it'll be next Monday. So and we do two. We do one for St. Augustine and we do one for Palm Coast. So Cash Pig is here in Palm Coast and Cash Cow is in St. Augustine. But if you know the code word, you get 2 tickets. So you get double the chances to win. And of course, if you do it all month long, bonus, right? So, okay, I think that's it. I think we've got everything. I'm about to ring a bell. I don't have no bell. And we're a good time. Good time. So thanks for joining us this morning. Josh will be back sometime this week. He's on his way home, but I don't know when he's coming back in, probably Wednesday. And then we'll be back. I'll be back study hall with Josh on Saturday morning. And you'll be here Friday.
I'll be here Friday.
So come on in and take a class.
Yeah.
Live to create.
And create as your heart leads you. I mean, like we have all these classes and there's all sorts of opportunities to find new ways to create.
Yep. And build community. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.